Thank you very much, Program Director. It was indeed quite a long walk. I'm sure you're not suggesting that I have to start exercising. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, let me thank all of you for finding time in your hectic schedule to be here. I think we need this time as a family to sit together and actually share some of the strategies and also have some light moments as a family and wish each other well, particularly for those people who will be on recess. The only little observation to the organizers is that maybe next year, same time, we must have these other tents. I've seen this management tent. It must actually come here because it's actually having those artificial separation and is negating the intention of the function itself. We are one big family. Ladies and gentlemen, when I address people, I always look at some people that I think, in my view, they actually represent the good of leadership. And I've actually shared in other platform a person by the name of Modibo Keita, the first president of Mali. Very few people have actually written about Modibo Keita, but he was one of the very first president of Mali, and he did well. And one person that I normally cite is Ahmed Sékou Touré, from what used to be called the French Guinea, and today Guinea-Conakry. He was one of the best leaders as well that we can actually learn a couple of things from. And he used to use one of the popular saying that he preferred poverty in liberty than riches in slavery. He was one of our own, one of our great leaders, and there are a number of lessons that we can actually learn from. And recently, I've actually said in other platforms that I've seen what is happening in Kigali and Rwanda in general, that it's becoming a model city, Kigali, and there as well is because of leadership. And we know where the people of Rwanda are coming from. And as well as CPUT and other institutions who are on the brink or on the precipice of collapse due to a number of factors. I think this is motivating. We can actually do the same. And I'm also told that in Rwanda, people are actually spending some time to clean. There is no city in Africa that is as clean as Rwanda. And normally when I wash our gardens, I always look at that as well to say, well done to our service staff. Our gardens are one of the best. But I think we have to join you as well as management and the other sections that dedicate maybe 1 or 2 days and to ensure that we become a model across the country. And of course, I've also talked about the other leader who's following in the footsteps of Paul Kagame, who is actually John Joseph Magufuli. He's actually doing the same around the issues of cleanliness and good governance, a governance that is free of corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, good day. Molweni, goeiedag, dames en heren. I know some of you will actually say, we are not where we want to be and not where we are going to be, but we are sure a long way from where we were. If you take the advent of Feast Must Fall 2015, 2016, and 2017, surely we are a long way from where we are, and I hope we'll actually keep it that way. Let me welcome all of you from our service staff to our protection services, senior professors, and executive management. You are all welcome. I've seen a number of HODs here. I'm actually saying welcome to all of you, CPUT family. And I observe the protocols that everyone here is actually welcome. The motto inscribed on our coat of arms call on us as a diverse people to unite. That's why I was actually making a remark early that next time we'll actually close this street and ensure that we're actually united, because that's who we are as a country. We are united in diversity, and that's our coat of arms. I've seen my presentation, listen, engage, and commit. That's the theme of my presentation today. And of course, we know as an institution, we talk about creating futures. The big challenge in creating the future is not predicting the future. It is not as if there is one future out there that is going to happen, and that the only challenge is trying to predict which of the potential futures will actually be the right one. Instead, the goal is to try to imagine a future that is plausible. That is the future that we can actually create. Thus, those were the words of Chaudhary in 2003, and they are still relevant today as well, that we are busy with an ambitious strategy, Vision 2030, and I wanted to share some of the tenets of this strategy with you. This Vision 2030 is underpinned by the fourth industrial revolution, and we all know that the digital revolution is upon us. The discussion about the fourth industrial revolution, or 4IR as we call it, is not going away, it's with us. This is the reality of our time. We cannot run away from it. The future of the world of work is going to be totally different. Totally new skill set, as well as advanced analytics, Internet of Things, the cyclic economy are going to be the norm. It found its way into our lives slowly and surreptitiously, and show itself in the increasingly abundance and strength of data and information. Some useful, others maybe not. We got used to our devices being almost extension of ourselves. That is true. We use the cloud as a storage for our document and file. We inquire from Google Maps what the best route is to our destination and how long it may take to get us there. There is no running away. We understand that the fourth industrial revolution can have negative impact. There is evidence from World Economic Forum that within the next 5 years, jobs in their current form and content may be lost. And the Standard Bank example is a classical example as to where we are going, and of course, the number of branches that they have closed. There is evidence that the divide between the have and have-nots will increase. These are some of the factors that we know. And our knowledge and understanding is based on our current worldview and our current perspective. We are on the leading edge of a smart machine-led age, led by artificial intelligence, that will be as transformative as an industrial revolution was for our ancestors. When it comes to smart machine, we cannot stay relevant using the traditional mindsets, culture, and leadership model. To excel, we have to play a different game. Indeed, as extolled by Megison, it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change. This has not changed. We as humans have to take up rightful places in the world, more and more populated by machines, and machines at that are increasingly intelligent. It is in this latter aspect that becomes the challenge. That is, to what extent can we as human beings find a survival and future in increasing complexities of an environment filled with artificial intelligence that goes beyond the usefulness of Internet of Things. There is solid evidence from the past that we as humans have the ability to upskill. This brings me to the responsibilities of education and of higher education in achieving this. The sole purpose of education, according to the National Development Plan and many other sources, is the development of the ability to think, learn, and relate to the global environment. Please underscore that: to think, learn, and relate to the global environment. Why this is so? Evidence is in abundance that the value of education lies in its transformative quality. It is absolutely and without doubt contributes firmly to the economic development of the country. I will not spend time really and teach you about the knowledge economy and how education can assist in this. Our country is no exception, and certainly in need of better and more education and training to provide the skill to ensure our survival and competitiveness in the global space. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, CPUT is embarking on her One Smart CPUT journey, and I'm inviting all of you to join us about this One Smart CPUT journey. I will unpack it later. We don't need to predict the future. We do need to create the future, as it is actually written in the sleeves of your shirt, that as an institution, we are creating futures. We take seriously our technology-ness, or some people are talking about our UOT-ness. That's where our greatness lies. Our greatness as an institution lies in our UOT-ness. We are a university of technology, and we must go back to the DNA of a university of technology. We don't look across to the Oxford, we don't look across to the Cambridge, but we look across the world to the MITs. That's why the founding fathers of this institution were referring to this institution as an MIT of Africa. Therefore, we will continue our strengths in the field. This is not new to us. We regularly achieve milestones in this field. I refer you to the late President Mandela's statement on the December 5 of 2013, that is popularly known, that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Education grows in its importance and the value to enabling development at the individual, group, regional, national, and international level. This is clearly expressed in the 17th Sustainable Development Goal identified by UN in its 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Under the banner of quality education, it calls for quality primary education. That's very, very important. Quality primary education. Please watch the space, because we are going to talk more about this quality primary education, because we are directing our effort to that particular space. And lifelong learning for all children, young people and adults, coordinated and aligned to specific needs and circumstances. Where is CPUT in all this, and how can One Smart CPUT participate or contribute to this? First, let me talk about this smartness, what we mean. We are talking about One Smart CPUT. Let me start with smartness. There is no denying that the world of work will be greatly impacted by technology and automation innovations. We as CPUT have a responsibility in this in order to ensure that our students and our staff are capacitated to join the workforce. We see new industries, new jobs, social changes, premium consumer goods, robotics, artificial intelligence, and alternative fuels and energy sources, and new infrastructure, new skills, new and exciting modes of transport, and of course, a deluge of data and information and the connectedness of our devices. Indeed, we are very aware that higher education itself is requiring great reform. Teacher-centered, almost your higher education 1.0 model of students sitting and being taught in a static setting has given way to a far and more inclusive higher education 4. And of course, we know the framework is that of interaction and engagement with students, becoming connectors, creators, and constructivists. This will lead the way to learners as content producers and connection makers, and web as a curriculum. CPUT need to engage and commit to a new teaching and learning model, and we will ask our research community to contribute to this discourse. To this, the CPUT research focus area will become great resource to tap into this world. We know our focus area, the 7 of them, or thematic institutions, thematic focus areas, the environment, climate change and sustainability, space science and engineering and technology, and of course the digital society, which will be more than economic growth and international competitiveness, human and social dynamics, and smart energy. And of course, the last one being bioeconomy and biotechnology. That is going to play a key role, and as an institution, we have already mapped our focus area to look at the relevance in terms of speaking directly to the 4th Industrial Revolution, or 4IR. The second aspect of my speech to unpack is on this oneness. Remember, we are talking about one smart CPUT. Let me now talk about this oneness. CPUT's history is one of the disconnectedness and diversity. Some of these are good, and some of these require our commitment to listen and to engage. Our One Smart CPUT is therefore focused on more than the technological world. It is our renewed contract with human centricity and our biggest assets, as well as our people. That we'll be trying by all means to address this oneness by mainstreaming, for example, our institutional transformation and social cohesion. We'll also be mainstreaming our engagement. And at times we talk loosely as higher education about being an engaged university. Please note, around the entire world, there are only 4 universities that are accredited and that are truly engaged. There is only 1 in Europe. And I think we must strive as an institution to actually be an engaged university and ensure that we engage in good faith. Our Latin professors will talk about engaging uberrimae fidei. So that means that we have to be truly an engaged university and seek for accreditation in this particular space. We also need to ensure that we coordinate our social cohesion initiative to enhance social integration. And we must monitor the social cohesion and transformation. And one particular aspect that you'll see going up this year is the digitization of our Dome of Remembrance here in Belleville. When we took office, we said we will actually go back so that we can actually go to the future. And one particular practice that was good here in Belleville was every year around August, we would actually go to the Dome of Remembrance and remember those particular staff members, those men and women that we started the year with that has actually lost it due to a number of factors. And of course, we'll invite the families accordingly. That's actually building that particular oneness. And we are going to ensure that we are going to digitize their names. We are going to ensure that we upgrade our Dome of Remembrance. And of course, digitize their names and immortalize them digitally. Over the years, there has been several studies undertaken to discern who we are and how we feel. An important component of One Smart CPUT is our commitment to walk our journey together. And as there is an old African proverb that says, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We have to go far as an institution, but that must happen quickly. This requires us to look into who we are and what we have achieved, and to build our Ubuntu again. One of our values, core values, is Ubuntu. We have to build that Ubuntu again. Ladies and gentlemen, I, as a Vice Chancellor, commit to listening and engaging in line with our human centricity as our single and biggest asset and strength. This has always been who we are and will continue to be. This is not an easy task. As an operator in the public higher education space, we are required to a number of chiefs and notions. For instance, there is a debate now around the white paper on science and technology and the decadal plan that we have to speak to, the communication strategy, partnership with industry, the NRF amendment bill, and the PAU, or the Pan-African Union Initiative, South Africa-Japan Forum, and other intra-country agreements, national access to knowledge resources, very important aspect. Here as well, watch the space, because as an institution, we wanted to put our colors on the mast, that we subscribe to open access when it comes to knowledge resources. Please watch the space. Transformation and capacity development. The draft government framework on internationalization, also very important. The national development and the Tumamina approach that our government is following. We are actually watching that particular space as to how we can actually contribute as an institution. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, you know me very well. I'm pleased to say that in few years I started preaching this gospel of engagement. I've seen signs of it emerging gradually and becoming a reality. We have developed a real nanosatellite. Indeed, our second nanosatellite was launched in December 2018 for the world to see how smart we are, and I want to congratulate the Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment in this particular regard. We have launched Omega Caro E in the market. We have raised our own car. We have contract supply UAV to neighboring states. We have scooped national awards. We have helped uplift rural community. And in the words of the former Vice Chancellor, Professor Tanga, she said of this achievement that she strongly believed that if CPUT stay the course and link teaching and learning, research and innovation, or R&I, to community development and industry partnership, we will be able to make very serious value proposition as an institution. Why people should come here and not any other institution lies in that particular serious value proposition. It is therefore my contention that this requires a specific mindset. Let me explain that we need a mindset of listening. Listening and understanding encourages discourse and supports diversity. And of course, a mindset of engagement. Engagement has to be an institution-wide commitment. That's why I'm talking about mainstreaming this engagement and engaging in good faith, or Iburimai Fidei. It has to embrace teaching as well as research, student as well as academics, and the full range of support services. All universities need to develop strategies to guide their engagement with wider society. It is not a function of community engagement units. All of us must ensure that we engage with communities where we come from and play our role. We engage with our students. We should know our students. We should engage first-year experience so that students will not forget this institution and they can easily plow back as alumni. We have to manage ourselves and to work with external partners to gauge this particular success. And then the last mindset change that we have to talk about is a mindset of commitment. When I agreed to become your Vice Chancellor, I agreed to dedicate myself to CPUT and to futures as well as generation to follow up. And I also make sure that I will also try to look at some of the dreams of the institutions that were deferred. And I said those deferred dreams must be looked at so that you can actually move forward. And these particular dreams of MIT of Africa is one of those particular dreams. And there are specific reasons why we wanted to be the MIT of Africa. And you can only look at the DNA of MIT that you will actually be able to understand CPUT. Let me elaborate that in terms of student-centeredness, the following matters are important. One, early engagement is very, very important. We must promote belongings. And of course, we must actually engage the entire student life cycle. And of course, engagement in academic sphere, it must be nurtured throughout the higher education, academic, as well as social and professional services. And the third one, developing the capacity of staff and students to engage. It's a very important thing under this oneness that we are going to follow. We have to develop the capacity of staff and students to engage. And of course, we have to manage this engagement institutionally and coordinate accordingly. But that is not all. I believe we need to look into a number of aspects that we should listen, engage, and commit ourselves and our institution to understanding our students. What students do in terms of their time and energy devoted to educationally purposeful activities, what institutions do using effective educational practices to induce students to do the right thing. Please underscore that, to do the right things. Number three, educationally effective institutions channel student energy towards the right activities. And of course, belonging has emerged as a key factor in student retention and is closely aligned with concepts of academic and social engagement. Belonging also recognizes relatedness or connectedness to the institution. Otherwise, we will be failing in our duty if you are saying at the end of it all, we have imparted quintessential elements that are key to CPUT via graduate attributes, but there is no lifelong connection to the institution. There is no giving back when you look at what you are getting from our alumni. Although we are on a journey towards One Smart CPUT in our Vision 30, please remember that we are operating in our current vision, that's Vision 2020. This is so because it is part of our journey into the future. The objectives of Vision 2020 are premised on the following broad aims for exceptional performance. One, creating efficient and effective systems with high level of service delivery. Please underscore that, high service delivery. And of course, cultivation of a clear sense of role and purpose with well-established identity and a sense of CPUT citizenship. Remember that the question of differentiation is not off the table. So we have to know ourselves as to who we are and how should we behave as a University of Technology. I undertook a study right at the beginning of the year, and I visited Ireland. And in Ireland, I visited institutions of our type just to learn as to what is it that distinguishes us from the rest of universities. And I went to TU Dublin, or Technical University Dublin. And I also went to Limerick University and Cork University of Technology. And I must actually say, there are things that you are doing right, but there are things that you can actually highly improve to ensure that we live to the creed of being a true University of Technology. We must actually also provide level of technology and technology adoption in line with One Smart University of Technology. World-class smart universities have three things in common. It is concentration of talents, its abundance of resources, and its favorable governance. I think I'm proud to say that we show all of these characteristics. In terms of our talent and smart people, I think of our students, our teaching, staff, and our research staff, and our support staff, and our internationalization effort have all the quintessential elements coupled with a strong and dedicated leadership and management team. A lot of work is taking place. Please join one of the task team and contribute in building One Smart CPUT. I need you to walk the journey with me, to help me to listen. I need you to join me in the commitment to creating futures. I need you to join me in expressing my deep gratitude to the task team working on this Vision 2030. And of course, going forward, it's very important to acknowledge this hard work that has been actually done by the task team and our researchers in making sure that we're actually moving in the right direction towards this One Smart CPUT. And as management as well, we have ensured that, for example, here where we are, it was only last year when I said our students who are participating in varsity sport, they will not actually go to Wellington again for a rugby match. I said it's a short notice, but come February, we'll actually have this floodlights. And that is a reality. And it's actually one of the 4 in the entire country in terms of quality, in terms of super sport standard. And our students, I hope our students and staff are going to enjoy this. And I've also challenged executive management that I wanted to have a rugby team there as well that must come and actually play here. Maybe a game with the SRCs. A rugby game with SRC can actually take us somewhere. And I know there are a lot of people here who are actually good in actually playing some of the positions like scrum half in my team. So we are going to see that right now. And colleagues, we have also ensured that the issues that were related to exclusions are a history at CPUT. There were students who were complaining about exclusions. And we said, as an institution, if you are academically deserving, we'll make sure that if it means raising funds, we'll go out of our way to ensure that we pay CPUT. And indeed, we did pay CPUT 3 million. Not from CPUT itself, we organized some funds and paid CPUT to allow our students to register. And it's an area that we have not been doing quite well, fundraising. We are going to fundraise and change this institution into a world-class institution without actually going to the coffers of council. We have seen monies flowing in. As of yesterday, we got about 14.6 million from Facet SITA given to the Faculty of Business. We actually appreciate all those particular efforts to say we are heading in the right direction. Let's all join forces together. Let's all put shoulder to the wheel and support one another to build this institution, not for the current executive management, but for the future generations. And of course, one particular aspect that we are working on, we already got people who are going to support us here, is extirpation of hunger on campus. We said, we know there are students who are actually struggling to have a plate at CPUT. We are working on how we can come up with appropriate criteria that is stigma-free, that can ensure that now those particular students are attended to. If we need a jacket, if I wanted to leave this particular jacket, I should be able to leave it in such a way that a student who needs it can actually pick it up and can become actually somebody else at CPUT. That's basically what we are working on now in building this oneness as an institution. We'll also be awarding 2 honorary doctorates that are Dr. Andrew Mukiti Mlangeni, as well as Professor Dennis Goldberg. These are the remaining Rivonia trialists. They will be here on the 11th, and of course, that we have to mark it as one of the key successes that we have actually made within a short space of time. I've talked about the decanting of Freedom Square as well as St. Peter's. We are changing those particular residences into state-of-the-art residence for our students. We have talked about gender-based violence at CPUT, and we have talked about men's forum, how we can actually work with our boys. And I think things are happening quite well in that particular space. I happened to watch a program last night when they were talking about rape culture at higher education. And they were actually talking about one particular institution, Forte. And I look at it and I listened carefully about the interviews, and I said, CPUT, we are way beyond this when it comes to the supportive policies to ensure that when it comes to the issue of commitment about a big no to abuse of women, a big no to abuse of children, as well as gender-based violence in all its ugly form. We have long passed that particular stage. What's needed now is actually thorough implementation in respective units. I will be concluding my speech, Program Director, but my mandate, I must actually say, is functions official. Some people will say, but we are a small university, how can we have these big dreams? But please note that if size mattered, then the elephant will be the king of the jungle. But that is not actually the case. And I will be remiss in my duty if when I conclude my speech, I don't actually say to you, Siyabulela mawethu enkosi. And I am aware that half of people here are clapping, and a large number of people who understand what I say, Baya danki dames and here. And I know there is still a portion remaining that will hear me well when I say, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now I've spoken to the entire CPUT community. That's who you are. Thank you very much and enjoy.